Hey, hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys a coaching session. This is for the Witch Doctor here. Going to be looking at sports stuff. And he is I believe 3.9k MMR player. I'm sorry, 3.2k. 3.2k Witch Doctor. Looks like you got Courier and Wards, gave a pulled Tango, 2 Clarity Potions. I think this is fine. I would maybe take one less Ironwood Branch and get another set of Tangos, but it kind of depends on the offlaner. And if it is a Prophet, you're going to have trouble, because Prophet does zone very well. Going back to block, which is good. I think it's actually better if you go into the creep wave, though, and you stand here, and you make sure that if the offlaner lets their range creep through, that you tank it until it meets up with the creep wave again. Having 3 people block is inefficient. And it's also possible you could have been here in time to be able to prevent him from putting his observer ward down, which is something else to look at. Like if you would have just gone to the he could have just if you buy your items faster and you instantly get to your lane, then you should be able to prevent your opponent from placing their observer ward down. And if that's the case, then they probably won't be able to block instead. So that's probably the first issue, is that you sat in the base for a little bit too long. And even when you did come out, I think did you even go to the rune? I don't even remember. Let's go back. Let's just super accelerate this. 8 times. The speed at which you purchase your items is quite important, actually. If you look on the map, Pudge he hasn't started walking yet. He may even TP, actually. I'm expecting him to TP. Let's go to free camera for a bit. No, he actually just walked. So, oop, and you walked all the way back to give a Tango. Okay, that's pretty much why. You're screwed at that point. If you would have just kept walking instead of going back for the Tango, then you would have gotten here in time. Pudge wouldn't have been able to block your small camp, so that's why it's really important to buy items almost really rapidly. And he's also got boots, that's the other problem, but you know, kind of a big mistake. And one of your supports should always buy sentries. The easiest way to trick your allies into doing this is if you ask them to buy the courier and obs, then you can buy the sentries instead. Whereas if you buy courier obs, they're more likely to be going to be greedy and buy like boots first or something, or a magic stick, which is worthless, obviously. Even against a Prophet, it would be bad. The only way this would be good is if there was like a Zeus offlane, and even then it's kind of crappy. So, yeah, just get your lane a little bit faster. That's really important. Based on the fact that it's a Pudge offlane, I think your starting item build is fine. First thing you should be doing is instantly moving around to a harass potential. And you right-clicked him once here, which is good, but the angle at which you should be attacking is actually this one instead, because if we look at the aggro ranges, and we can't really do this super easily, but I think it's like 500 units or something like this. So basically, if you right-click Pudge and you're standing in this circle, you will aggro this range creep. The range creep won't attack this, and the creep wave will push. It's already kind of messed up because did this like split creep thing, which I assume was Pudge's fault. In which case it's not that bad, but really you and Omni Knight should both be zoning right now. I don't know why Omni Knight's over here, but he should be here with you attacking, or he should be prepping to pull, or he should be prepping to stack, is one of the things that he should be doing. So you came over here and you're right clicking him, which is good, but you did tank 2 right clicks from the range creep, losing 20 HP. So one downside. Overall your harass was fine, but somebody should instantly be going to pull right now. And you could have done this as well. Omni Knight's just standing around because he's bad. It looks like you have a mouse grip, which is really good. Mouse grip is a pretty efficient thing to do. Alright, and another mistake here, you're tanking too many creeps. So it looks like you need some zoning practice, basically. You're also not really looking to see where your creep wave is going to be. You saw their creep wave coming, but then you're not really adjusting around your creep wave. And right here, the range creep attacked you so many times. And again, there you aggroed it again. It's like 5 or 6 times that creep wave has attacked you. So you're kind of putting yourself into danger, when in reality the most important thing is the fact that your wave is pushing, which is going to guarantee Pudge some experience. So even if you did zone him decently, the fact that nobody went back and pulled gave this guy a free level 2.5, despite everything you just tried to accomplish. So now you're spreading experience 2 ways with you and the PA. Omni Knight has finally pulled, but it's just been so delayed. This should be a kill, I think. Okay, well he dies at least. It's not terrible. Little lost gold. Omni Knight's also doing single pulls. I think if you're at 3.2k MMR, you should basically... It's okay, like I don't think you have to have defined roles. I think you're zoning okay for your MMR, but you could have also pulled there. Do you remember the time before Pudge was at the tower, you were standing here, Omni Knight was standing here, you could have walked to the side camp and done a side pull. It's okay for you to do both, or for something like, if you think your ally is not going to do it correctly, ask him to do the zoning. Be like, go slap the Pudge, try to keep him out of experience range, and then you prep to pull. Even though you're the range hero, obviously it would be better for you to do it, but You know, all those things make a big difference. That was really dangerous. If he hooked you, you'd die there, 100%. Yep, and there it goes. Yep, that was really playing dangerously. Ooh, and he shit talked you, what a bastard. In reality, this guy would still be level 1 if you guys just pulled correctly and you didn't get hooked there. He would be ultra behind. Instead, you've kind of gimped yourself now, because not only did you lose gold, but then you had to buy TP, so that's like a loss of like... That was first blood also. You lost a lot of gold, and you gave him boots guaranteed, and he's going to have whatever else he wants pretty much. Because of you dying there. So that's a pretty big mistake. The big thing was really the boots. Now you're going to have to play the next like 4 minutes or so with less farm than normal. Also, you shouldn't be standing in the creep wave like this. It's completely worthless. No reason for you to be here. You could be walking over to the medium camp to prep for a stack. There's a lot of things you could do really. But both you and Omni are kind of filling similar roles. Omni has done some pulling, which is great, but I don't think you guys have done enough. And I'd also consider actually getting 2 points in Maledict early, because Pudge is pretty high HP, and you know he's going to take damage from Rot. So if you ever get into a situation where you have to fight him again, having 2 points in Maledict means you're going to do an extra 8% for lost health burst damage, and an extra 5 times 12, 60 damage. So I would say Maledict is arguably the better skill here, considering he's almost always going to be far away from creeps. And buying a TP is also not the right solution, because again, you're still delaying at what point you get your boots of speed. And the actual important thing is making sure that you can stay alive versus Pudge. And I guess a TP is one way you could do that if you get hooked, but if you're under tower, you're dead anyways. So now you should basically be worried about probably Omni or you dying, because PA is very unlikely to die under tower here. I think it's a little bit safer. I mean, it's okay that you're kind of hugging him or whatever, but this is so dangerous. You don't really know where the Pudge is. One thing that could solve this problem as well is having an observer ward down in the lane. That way you can see his movements a bit more. And he has finally shown up here, but I would say that's a little too early. You should have waited until your PA definitely had his cooldown again, and then it would have been okay for you to go there. Especially if you coordinated, and especially if you again had 2 points in Maledict, higher chance that he dies there. Because really all that needs to happen is you throw a cask at the same time as the PA daggers, you drop the Maledict, Omni heals the PA. That should be Pudge dying, I would assume. Looks like you guys did eventually buy Sentry Wards, which is really good, and you ate the last tree, obviously, to do the pull through, which is great. So eventually you're getting to this thing that you should be doing, which is great. You're doing pulling and stuff, but the problem is that this was all delayed. First, because you bought your items late. Ooh, this should be a kill. Fortunately, nobody else is able to get there in time. You should have been able to do this from the start because you guys didn't have sentries, and number 2, because you kind of relied on Omni Knight to do the pulling and stuff. But I think you can zone while also keeping an eye on the pulling. Here I would have force denied, because you can see that the Satyr's not going to kill everything in time. And you should also let the Satyr deny things, because then if Pudge is in the area, he gets less experience. And he actually wasn't in the area, so it's fine. But this guy's getting way too many levels. He's almost level 6. It's a little late. It's level 7. It's about the same as what the Clockwork's getting, but if you had zoned this guy properly and the pulling had gone through, then you would have guaranteed that Pudge would be underleveled compared to your Clockwork, which is all around just a really good advantage for your team. So boots here is great. Definitely you're really late on observer wards. The first nighttime starts between 4 minutes and it goes to 8 minutes. So the fact that you just are now putting wards up or thinking about putting wards up is a big loss. And obviously that's because of your death, but it's also because of the fact that you guys didn't start pulling right at the start. Because if you had properly zoned the Pudge and you stayed at like level 1, maybe level 2, then it would put you guys on a really good path for you getting a ward up and a flying courier and checking ward or getting runes out and stuff like that. Instead, all you guys have really done is, and I don't understand this rotation here. This doesn't make a huge amount of sense. I'm guessing maybe the clock asked for it or something, but I just don't really see you guys killing the Morphling. It's a very, very difficult. He doesn't have boots, I guess, but he can always just waveform away. I just think this is a waste of a TP. So basically, like, you kind of have the principles done. You think, oh, we got to pull, we got to zone, but the problem is you didn't quite react to it perfectly. If the wave is pushing, get ready to pull. As soon as you look at the creep wave, that's something you didn't do very much in the laning stage. Look at the creep wave, see how many creeps you have, see how many creeps they have, figure out if it's going to push. If you know it's going to push, look at the creep wave equilibrium, see, like, look at where your creep wave is coming and say, like, oh, it's time to pull, or it's 7:14. If that means I need to pull through to the large camp. And he did grab a ward, by the way, and block your large camp. You can also pull to the medium camp to the left as well. But you guys didn't have a tango for that, which I understand. But I think the PA did have a quelling. Is he just rushing Deso? That's so bizarre. He did have a quelling blade, so worst case you can ask him to go cut the tree down, or he can give you his tango, would also work out decently. But just being a little bit off in some of these small things, literally just the zoning, not pulling in time. Basically 2 heroes are kind of doing the same job this game, and one of you could have been stacking camps, checking runes, stuff like that. I don't think you've checked runes either. So you eventually TP to the top lane, which I'm guessing is supposed to pressure the Morphling or whatever. First of all, you already revealed the fact that you're here, which is a mistake. If you really are trying to gank this guy, the only way you could do it is to make him waste his waveform, otherwise you're not going to get a kill. Or Clockwork would have to drain his mana using power cogs until he can't waveform. Or Clockwork would have to get him low potentially to a point where your surprising stun coming out of nowhere with Maledict could result in Morphling dying. But if you just walk up like this and throw your stun and then Maledict afterwards or whatever, it's not going to do much. And I guess you're now zoning him by right-clicking him. I'm glad you didn't throw the Maledict there. You definitely should have started your Clarity earlier, though. I think that would have been a big deal. Could have helped a lot. You're just starting it now. Again, could have been a little earlier. You could have gotten that last hit as well, both of those really. And now you're probably like, man, why did I come to the top lane? That's a little weird. And you're also probably looking at your levels and you're like, oh, I'm doing an okay job. I'm level 5. But look at where PA is. He's actually at the same level at 8 minutes. What really should happen is PA should be like level 6, level 7 here, and you should be 5. So the reality is that both you and Omni have pretty much routinely split this in terms of experience gain. Omni did eventually de-award this, which is good. It's like both of you guys kind of know what you're supposed to do, but you're off the mark by a moderate amount. You can't miss those opportunities to like start a pull or to not die to Pudge. Things like that make a huge difference. You also being in the offlane right now is a little confusing. I think it's pretty unnecessary. Right-clicking the Morph is kind of cool, I guess. He does have quite a bit of regen on his hero. But you're also kind of vulnerable to die. Oh, you put a ward down, I see. I was wondering. Rana does not have 6 yet, though. I assume you meant to place the ward first. You're still in a really bad spot. Like, you could be up here by the creep wave getting experience, but this whole time you've basically just been standing in the jungle. Let's go back and see how much you've missed. This is a really big deal. So this is about where you TP to the top lane, you get your boots, stand over here. You could pop your Clarity right here, by the way. You're missing 150 mana. Could have popped there right before you TP'd, knowing that you were about to go. You used your mana. Alright, so I'm going to start counting as soon as you stop getting experience. So at about 740. You got, okay, you missed that range creep. You got this one. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. That was about 740. No experience, no experience, no experience. Oh, the creeps are about to die. Time to walk away. 740. It's been a whole minute that you haven't done anything, actually. You've done nothing in a minute. Okay, you finally got experience. It took you like a minute and a half to get one creep wave of experience. Even though nobody was in your lane, minimum what you should do in this case is stand near the trees so you're getting experience from the wave. The best thing you could do maybe is get last hits while getting experience. Well, the actual best thing would be killing Morphling, but it's just unlikely. Witch Doctor is not very good against Morphling. And here you're kind of positioned in an alright spot, but now you're losing HP. Now you just kind of died. This would be a really good point in the game for you to have something like a raindrop. You also have tons of mana, and you're missing like 2/3 of, or a third of your HP, which is really dangerous for obvious reasons. You didn't even use your heal, but like as soon as that many heroes were collapsing on you, you should be popping your Voodoo Restoration. So we're now 10 minutes, and you're still not level 6. Now you've kind of choked the support path pretty much. You haven't accomplished what you needed to accomplish, which is get a 6 at a relatively good time, zone the offlaner, collect some farm, maybe do some ganks. You've died twice. You kind of zoned decently, but not amazingly. You pushed the wave a lot of times, and that's part of the reason Pudge got so much experience. And all of those things culminated to you doing a bad rotation, which is you TP to the top lane. I don't know if Clockwork asked for a gank, but he's a dumbass. How are you going to kill that guy? You guys can't kill that guy. You can't kill a Morphling. You do not have the heroes to kill a Morphling. You need reliable disables or burst damage or silences or tons of nukes, and you don't have any of those. You have Purify, like if you're 6, maybe, but literally the only way you get that kill was if Clockwork ganks it out or baits it out and he waveforms forward. That's the only time you can get a kill, and ideally with your 6. So before you TP, you got to look at these situations, be like, huh, am I going to be successful here? Because to be honest, what you were doing before in the safe lane was better than what you did going top. If you grabbed experience while being top, I would have said whatever. So those are your two options. Either identify whether or not your gank is going to be successful and then choose to go, or just stay in the safe lane and be more efficient. And again, you could have been stacking camps. That could have been farmed by Tinker or PA. You could have zoned Pudge better. The pulling could have been better. If you're doing a large camp pull, do a stack pull at 53. Bring sentries to lane. All of that changes everything. And now you're pretty far behind, to be honest. You should always be 6 by 10 minutes. You shouldn't have to rely. The only case that you shouldn't be 6 by 10 minutes is if you've done some really effective roaming, but you just haven't quite gotten the kills, or you always die before your allies are the ones that do get the kills. This is was an alright stun. I mean, you got some damage in. You could have right-clicked him a little more. Oh, he actually might die now. Okay, he used the old get out of jail free. Ooh, and now Ami is going to die. Oh, never mind. I don't know what you've been doing the last 20 seconds. This is confusing to me. Okay. Let's look at this again. So you threw a really good cask. It actually worked out much better than I thought it would because this bounced in extra time. But instantly you started running. I think it's because you were fearing the waveform. But this is a weak analyzation of what's going to actually happen in this fight. I guess... Oh, I'm sorry. There's two Zeus. This is probably why you got scared. There's two illusions here. You're probably worried about a waveform and a bolt, I guess. But you can actually see all three. There's one on the mid lane as well. So one of these is obviously going to be an illusion. This is why you're running. But really this whole time you could have been right-clicking the morph and getting him low. And now you're running over to the right side. I'm not sure why you're running here. Probably to wrap around. I think this only started making sense once I saw the profit. And in all reality, you're not moving your camera as much as you should. Because right now, like I said, the only time I feel comfortable about this is as soon as I see that this guy's low. That's where I'm like, oh, I'd like to wrap around and kill that guy because I've got cask in 3 seconds. But you could have right-clicked the morph link 3 more times at least here, I think, before you got scared. And now everything changes again because now you've been staying over here, so then you thought, oh, I'll run this way. But really you could have been standing here, right-clicking the morph link like 3 times and then backed up a little bit. And then when Pudge completes this TP, you're right here already. So you've kind of like, you're very immobile at this point in the game because it's still pretty early. And that's unfortunate. I think you could have assisted in killing the Pudge here. And instead you haven't, frankly, accomplished very much. I also really don't like this ward. I think it's a complete waste. It does spot some lane stuff. I think the better ward, really, if you wanted to put it aggressive, would be up here. That way it spots them under the tower. If you can hold ult, and I think the range is something like this. So if you place the ward like here, you will have vision. And I think this was, again, you trying to put a sentry ward down, but you messed up. So I guess it's maybe unfair for me to criticize that, but definitely look at what the ward is before you buy it. Alright, and now you're also 11 minutes into the game. You're still not level 6. You still aren't even close to energy booster. And this is as a result of all these poor decision-making situations where you wasted time TPing in the top lane, you died and used TPs to go back to the lane. Now you bought a second TP when in reality you're still trying to save it for your first item. It's not worth it for you to have 2 TPs here. You guys are staying in kind of the right place on the map, but again, if you had just hit 6 at like 8 minutes or something with some efficient laning, then everything could have changed, because as soon as you're at level 6, you move around the map and start killing people. But you're still not 6. Witch Doctor pre-6 is honestly a terrible hero. You have to be 6 for Witch Doctor to start becoming really effective. I mean, he's all around a good laning hero as well, but 12-minute level 6, that's not value. Nobody's in the mid lane. Anybody on your team could be getting experience there, but instead you guys are 3-way splitting experience in the top lane. You have been all game. It's 12 minutes in, you've got 3 heroes that are still level 6. That's not okay. Let's look at the hero levels here. And they're actually less guilty of this than you. If you look at their levels, it's because they had a jungle hero, which in some ways is like a bad strategy. But the reason that it's a strategy that works is because of supports like you that are inefficient. Because he can go in the jungle and he knows that he can kill creeps slowly because he can spawn treants and right-click them with his treads. Eventually he'll get farm. But if you guys don't play support effectively, then you're getting less levels than them. But if you play support effectively, you will get as many levels as them in most cases. There are some outliers with like Legion Commander, Bloodseeker, stuff like that, Enigma. But if you also put pressure on the lanes while being efficient in your supporting, then you will have more pressure on the game and you should have about equal levels. But you haven't done either of those. You're behind on levels and you're behind on map pressure. You've done almost nothing in map pressure. You've participated in 0 kills and you haven't even gotten yourself much gold or experience. So these are the simple things. Like, it's honestly pretty straightforward. I know you know the principles, but you have to practice executing it consistently every game. Zone the Pudge, don't aggro the creeps. Get to the lane fast so he doesn't put an observer ward down. Make sure you always have a pair of sentries if you have 2 supports, especially ones that are reliant on pulling and can't jungle at all. After that, get a fast boots, carry a TP scroll, consider roaming. If you do TP, make sure that it's going to be an effective gank. You could also set up a gank if you want, but generally it's better to wait until you're 6. If it's like a Zeus mid, for example, and you have a Tinker, I think you maybe could have ganked this guy earlier. It's possible. It would have been a little hard. Like, if Zeus is standing here and it's like Zeus, range creep wave or something, and your creep wave and your range creep and your Tinker, you could smoke and go around here and throw a cask, or even maybe if you had Maledict pretty maxed out or something, Zeus could take a lot of damage and like a laser missile. It's quite a bit. 80 pure is not bad, and you know, who knows, maybe it would have done 200 magic damage or something. Maybe. Or maybe you'd get lucky and bounces. It'd bounce back. It would stun him a total of 2 times or something. Who knows? Look around the map and look for those opportunities. Don't just listen to your clockwork who says, come gank top, and then you instantly TP. Look around the map, see what's likely. If you feel like there's nothing going on in your lane, then again, your solutions are stack, they are check rune, or they are gank somewhere else. Those are always your options. So if you don't play support more efficiently in this, then that's why you're going to have trouble ranking up, because people that are truly bad at laning will actually just go to the jungle and collect the easiest levels of their life. So this is pretty sad. I wish this guy actually bought boots. That would make a whole lot of sense. Oh, hey, you're here. Okay. Oh, alright, that was a good one. That was good. Just want to recheck this. Let me see how you started this one out. It appears you were on the top lane. You realized shit was happening, so you TP'd. I think your TP was good here. This is fine. I'm quite surprised. I like that you let him off. This is really good. This got you the kill. Kind of. Well, the Zeus kind of messed up, but that was good. The only unfortunate part is, first of all, you didn't get the kill. You could have stacked here. See the 53? Something you could do on the way home. It would have taken you 2 seconds, and somebody would have farmed an extra small camp. You spent the money on a wand, an observe, and a sentry. I think it would have been really smart for you to get a what's it called? Raindrop, because there is a lot of magic nukes on the enemy team. Either Prophet nuke, arrow, waveform, stuff like that. Do a little stun here. Wow, he blew up. That was actually an incredible amount of damage. I think you guys crit, and then he got hit with the pure damage from Purify. That was pretty incredible. So you put some wards down. I'm not a huge fan of these at all, actually. They're kind of good because they will spot a Pudge that's trying to hook people under your tower, but your tower's full HP, so it's not like they're necessarily going to pressure soon. I would prefer instead that you put a Observer Ward here. This one is arguably the most common or the most popular because it'll spot heroes in river. It'll spot heroes entering your jungle this way. It'll also spot people entering the danger zone, which is right here. You won't have vision on the danger zone, but you'll always see them come in because you can see here, you can see here, you can see here. You will see people enter your jungle if they don't smoke. And other than that, like, the vision is just kind of bad in some ways. It like gives you some jungle, but not all of it. And putting a sentry here as well, I think, is a mistake, because if you're worried about like Potomult, for example, the place you want to put your sentry is a place where you're expecting your opponents to come from. So if you're sitting under your tower and they Potomult and they're approaching your tower, okay, yeah, your sentry is going to be useful, but it's very unlikely that they'll get to this place in the first place and then be invisible at the same time, in which case your sentry is wasted, unless you're trying to de-ward, in which case this is kind of a bad ward spot. I would instead be sentrying somewhere here for a lane ward, or much more likely down here if the players are good. They're not good, so they're probably not going to ward there, but that's where your sentry should have gone. Or you could put it in lane up here. See where the tower's range is? Put a sentry down, because almost every time someone will TP to a tower and they'll just walk through the lane past the creeps because they're invis. If you put a sentry there, you'll spot them. So the sentry should probably go in lane up here, just for vision. That would have been a better move, I think. You've wasted quite a few sentries, actually. Almost every time you put down a ward, you've put a sentry down, but that's 100 gold. So I personally, if you really don't know where their wards are going to be, I would just seriously recommend, especially if you're behind, just save the sentry. In most cases. If they have invis heroes, then you definitely have to mess around with it a little bit. That was a really nice heal. Okay. That was nicely done. Omni is paying attention. I think you are following too much of what your team is doing here. As soon as you kill somebody, you guys should be considering pushing. But you guys all got scared. You saw this TP coming, but look at your heroes. You got 4 heroes here. And, like, you guys are just running in circles. Like, you're all like, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to run next to where my allies run. And then you all run in this little stupid pack that's not doing anything. And instead, what you could have done is instantly just started pushing. Right-click these creeps. Throw your Witch Doctor cask. Kill this fucking tower. This is a dead hero. Zeus is dead for 28 seconds. Take a tower. Even the Tinker showed up. Like, start pushing. Someone's dead. And in this, like, hesitation moment for like 15 seconds, you guys were going to eventually push, but you instantly retreated to the safety of your creeps. And I assume you're scared of Pudge or something like that, but it's cool. You've got a range, you've got a hero that is very mobile. You've got an Omniath that can save any of you guys if things get bad. And yeah, your HP's a little low, but you've got full mana. Just pop your Voodoo Restoration a little bit. I guess you wanted to put, and again, the same thing. You keep wasting an Observer Ward and a Sentry Ward at the same time. But if it's Dire Team, they're not going to ward here probably because it's not the best ward. It's only good if people are approaching this tower, arguably from this direction, or if they've snuck over here to wait to dive the tower. For you, it's fine to have an Observer Ward there, but have a Sentry Ward there, not worth it. Your better Sentry position is actually about here. Just check the tower range, place it about here. That way, see this Sentry, it spots like people over here, spots people in Roche Pit. That's all kind of wasted space. The only place you're really worried about them Potomulting is like right here. So what you want to do is, again, get the paths covered. See where the range is? Put the sentry ward like down over here. If your observer ward's on the high ground, the sentry will still catch this spot, and you can still deward it if they have a ward there. But the sentry's also going to give you invisible vision in this whole area instead of just this little tiny bit. Whereas if you have it here, who knows? Maybe they're all running through the lane and one of them will stop over here and stop moving and then keep running. Like, that might happen. That's more likely than somebody actually walking all the way around this way, you know? Like, you're not getting full efficiency out of almost everything you do. And obviously most players aren't, but you're really missing the ball a lot on warding. Again, because you are wasting 100 gold every time you place an observer ward. This one's okay. I would say this one's better. Wait, did you even place this one? You did? Why did these change? Okay, this is his observer ward. Okay, my bad. I didn't realize this is Omni's ward. Either way, I think I would have liked the sentry to be somewhere else. Or just save it, because they weren't going to ward. So, push the tower. Tower didn't get touched, basically. It was just a creep wave, but you guys easily could have killed this, and you should have killed this. Just push right away. Do damage to the tower. And that's an important thing to remember as a support, is that by pushing the lane, you are putting pressure on a tower. The tower will fall eventually if the creep waves hit enough time. So just by pushing a lane, it puts your team in a good spot. You also used your wand here to heal, and said you could have used your voodoo restoration. And you guys are still staying in a pack. It's 15 minutes, and you guys are playing this like it's the laning stage. And the laning stage is very far over. The laning stage ends at like 8 minutes or 7 minutes or something like that for good players. So the reality is that you could be moving around. You could move to mid unexpectedly, smoke behind the tower, stand up here, put a ward down. Oh wow, hey, Murata's coming to defend. Then you wrap from behind, you stun her, and she dies or whatever because you nuke her with Clockwork Hook and Laser Missile, and you're good. But instead, you guys are still sitting together. It's very frustrating. And again, doing the same thing, standing in a group. You guys are all scared because there's a fucking Pudge in the game. It's just a Pudge, man. You're gonna get hooked. You just gotta accept it and live your life. If you were more farmed, it wouldn't even matter. He would hook you and he'd start dismembering you, and then instantly the PA would throw a dagger, and Omni Knight would stroll up and he'd heal you, and then he'd repel you, and that's when Pudge dies. Like, you just have to not be scared. You guys are, he's literally, just by him being in the game and not showing on the map, you guys are scared to like push the wave. You're just standing in a group, thinking like, if we all stand together, Pudge can't get us, but he'll still hook somebody. But it's not, that's not the dangerous part. The dangerous part is that you guys are doing nothing. Your inaction is causing you way more harm than the possibility that Pudge is about to hook you. Like, even if he hooks you right now, it literally doesn't matter. And this is good. You guys are finally pushing the wave. But you should have done this as soon as the Zeus died. Like, a long time ago. A very long time ago. Don't tank the tower so much. This is bad. Oh, hey, look. You got hooked in. Hey, you're gonna be fine. Because your whole team is here. And you could have done this from the very start. Like, that was actually worst case scenario. And it was still completely fine. Okay. Oh, this looks really bad. Yeah, Zeus was gonna mess up there. Mess people up. Oh, Zeus keeps getting blown up. These guys are all very, very squishy. So, everything went fine. Except it was like 3, 4, 5 minutes slower than it should have been. That's all. Alright, with that said, let's see what you do now. Arcane's TPing in the top lane. Why are you TPing in the top lane? Is it because there's a tier 1 tower? I'm gonna go back and look. Let's see what vision, let's see what information you gathered before you TP'd. That's important. That's the important thing. I want to try to be able to figure out what you're thinking. Alright, you saw there was a creep wave bottom, and Tinker was mid, and Clock doesn't have his hook shot, so yeah, there's a Morphling top. So what you're thinking? Bought another sentries, you're TPing top. I don't know if you guys are coordinating this or not, but holy shit, TPs. Oh, that was an easy kill. Okay, that guy died instantly. Going to hit the Morphling. Again, I'm not 100% sure why you are pressuring this lane. I think you should have gone back to push the creep wave a little bit faster. I would use my stun here, just to push the wave faster. Again, dead hero, pressure the tower. Especially because you have Arcane Boots, you have like a lot of mana. This is a shitload of mana for a Witch Doctor. I still would consider having a range drop. It's in some ways it's kind of bad against Zeus, but can be good. Alright, you messed that guy up. Again, you double warded, and again, look at where you place these. Alright, instead, where could this be? It could be Observe Ward on the high ground, obviously. Do you want the sentry here? The sentry would spot heroes running this way. Or maybe heroes running this way that are invis. But I would argue the more important thing is, if you're pushing this tier 2 tower, the place heroes are likely to come from is from the right, and from down here, which this covers. But what about this path? This path isn't covered until they're like right on top of you. Really, if you're pressuring this tower, you should have heroes here and here. So really, you want the sentry more to the right. I would put it like here. It'll barely catch the cliff. It won't catch down here, but they're either going to come this way to wrap around, or they're going to go this way, or they're going to go right through the lane because they're bad, in which case you should also have a sentry up here. But like one sentry here, you're pretty much covered. Or you can sneak it in these trees. It's a good spot too. And then you're covered against bottom aggressiveness. But again, you're just kind of wasting your sentry. In some ways, I guess if you sentry first, you could deward without them knowing that you have an obs there, if they have a sentry and an obs there. But I think that's generally a waste. At this point in the game, I think your sentry placement is more important. So, you have basically 4 heroes up here, and you guys could be pressuring, but you're not. I kind of wish that you just would pressure, per usual. Oh. Just kind of luck into a kill here. We just kind of saw Zeus randomly, because you're in the jungle, which is good that you're in the jungle, but... Ulti's a little wasted, but that's alright. And your team is now pushing in. You guys are basically just 5-manning the whole time, but you're doing it really inefficiently. Really inefficient. You've had your heal on this whole time. Okay, you figured it out finally. I think you're making a huge mistake by attacking the tower. You should never do this. If you're against a Clockwork, a Storm Spirit, or a Pudge, this is a terrible idea because you're telling their whole team where you are right now. And you should have also taken this opportunity to put a ward down. So let's again look at what you should have done in this case. Alright, he died. Waves pushing up. Instantly, as soon as you guys got to the tower, I would stop attacking it. I would walk forward. I would use my cask on the creep wave just to kill a little bit faster. That way my creeps would instantly start hitting the tower, thus killing it faster. And then what you should do is wrap around and go over to this tree clump. And I like being over here as a support because it allows you to put a ward down without your opponent seeing it. So you can walk over here, put a ward down right here. And then you'll be able to see people approaching. The downside is you don't have a sentry anymore because you used one. You put it over here, which is arguably good. I think the sentry's fine. If anything, more than fine. Maybe it could be a little closer up, but I don't know. What if I... Oh no, it was perfect. Great. A+ sentry. Best sentry you placed all game. But if you sneak over here, put the ward behind, you might catch Pudge trying to sneak this way, for example, because your ward would be here, spots over here. Basically all the approach vectors except for down here. Hey, look, there's Pudge. So here's the other issue. If you just stood here, I know that you stand here and right-click, but if you just, for example, when you're up here right-clicking, if Pudge was approaching from this direction, you just would get killed. Because you'd get hooked right here. Instead, he was down here, so you got a little lucky. But if you're standing over here right-clicking, you just die, 100%. What you do instead is you put the ward down and you just wait in the trees. Because your little measly 83 damage right-click is not going to do that much in comparison to what the PAs or other people's do. Like Clockwork's a melee hero, he's going to be up here hitting this, he doesn't have his ulti, he might as well hit the tower because he's tanky. I mean, I'm okay with that because he's also should be in the same area. But you should definitely not be right-clicking a tower because you should be worried about getting arrowed and them knowing where you are, or you should be worried about getting hooked. One of these two things. Or Zeus and Morphling could potentially gang up on you, for example. I mean, they do have 2 dead heroes, but the hero, again, you should be worried about his Pudge. And look, you actually got arrowed. That whole time I talked about these and all the dangers, and you still got arrowed. Because that's reality, man. That was the threat. And yeah, you're fine. But now you have to burn another 200 mana, getting your health back up. Oh no. That's okay. I think their sentry was old enough that it doesn't matter. So you take the 2/2 tower, that's good. I think you're shifting back now. Oh, he actually doesn't have the mana for this. No, he does. Yeah, you guys are out of sentries. You're still kind of 4-manning. You guys are 4-manning way too much. It's been like 10 minutes. This is not... Like, I get that you guys feel safe doing this because there's a Pudge and you probably have success doing this, but it's just so inefficient. The better move, honestly, is just get some ward vision up and have vision of common paths and then just see where he's going to be and just don't get killed there. But you guys probably only feel safe grouping because you guys aren't good at spreading out and being efficient. But let's go back and look at the top lane right now where the wave is. So let's go way back. This is you pushing the top wave. You guys push the top wave, you push the top wave, it was all good. You came up top, you're about to push tier 2, and then what happened? You guys were like, I don't know. Let's go somewhere else. Instead, you walked mid to push the tower. Even though you're already up here, you already potentially had a sentry ward set up. You had sentries ready to go. You were ready to push this tower. You guys were honestly super ready to push this tower. But you left. I don't know why you left. You got a little lucky. I think this is when the Clockwork found the Zeus kill. So Zeus ends up dying here, which is overall very, very good. Dead Zeus. Cool, we can push now. Okay, now back to push. And in the meantime, just Morph's up here farming. Pushing the wave farming. And now, taking this tower has become more difficult because he pushed the wave. So he has more creeps here, you're hitting the tower, you got arrowed, whatever. He comes back again, he pushes it again. Because he knows, and this is a very smart thing for him to do, He pushed this tower because, or this wave, because he knows that now you guys, instead of just like walking from middle lane to top lane and taking the tower, now you have to walk to top lane, walk all the way back to the creep wave, which is pushing, and then kill it. And only then, once you've killed it, can you then push the wave up. It literally buys him like 30 seconds. And that's all because you guys walked here, got a little scared, and then you walked mid and got lucky. In reality, you should just pressure top, waited for Tinker to TP in, and then you have a 5-on-5 fight. Then it makes sense to 5-man. But the way that you guys are 5-manning is not making sense. It's not being efficient at all. You're getting weird feelings, and you're just ditching. You're like, I'm scared. Let's go somewhere else. You go somewhere else, you get a little lucky, you get a kill. You're winning. You basically won this game, or you got advantage in this game because the Zeus happened to walk into the jungle, even though he knew your whole team was there, and he got killed because he's a dumbass. It wasn't because of good play. So you guys are, again, 4-manning. Never stop. Never leave each other's sight, guys. And said, you know what you should have done? Instantly, you run back to the creep wave, or PA does. And then whoever's left over farms this camp and this camp. That's it. Farm those camps, right-click them together, kill them. And then 2 people push out the wave. And then when these neutral camps are dead, they're like, hey, the neutral camps are dead. Oh, cool, the wave's already pushed. And then you group again as 4. And then all of a sudden, you guys have accumulated 2 range creeps, 3 melee creeps. You've gotten a small camp, and you've gotten a large camp. And so what did you guys do? Nothing. You walked across the whole map in an attempt to kill the Zeus again, but you didn't have mana because this Clockwork has a bad item build, and he lives. So what did you accomplish in the last 30 seconds? Fucking nothing. You guys did nothing in the last 30 seconds. Nothing happened. And now, again, 4 more creeps split between 4 people, basically 3 on PA, 1 on Clockwork. In the meantime, Omnian has gone trickle gold. You have gone trickle gold. Let's look at your gold per minute. It's probably terrible. It's probably like 220, let's say. It's worse. 206. You and Omni both 206 GPM. That's really, really low. Pretty much everybody in this game is really, really atrocious farm, especially this Mirana. His GPM should easily be better. Once you get Arcane Boots, you just arrow creep every 17 seconds, and I guarantee his GPM would be like 250 minimum. Especially if he also pushes out lanes and stuff. But if you just would have gone back to push the wave, you would have gotten minimum 2 of those creeps, maybe 5 if you're good. And then the wave pushes forward. Or maybe you kill the small camp while they go back and push. Then you get 75 gold. You've got full mana. You've got Arcane Boots off cooldown. But you didn't use your time well, and you didn't use your mana well. So you're basically just gimping yourself all game. You're not giving yourself a chance to accumulate resources, and there's always time. And again, it's also spending time. You guys did all the work to push the lane up, and then you ran mid, and you got lucky on a kill, and you took the tower. And then you ran top again, and you're like, hey, the wave's all the way back there. Well, hey, there's this guy across the map. Let's run across the map with 4 heroes and see if we can kill him. And that's, of course, assuming they don't have an observer ward and see you coming and just leave. In which case, 4 heroes just walked across the map for 20 seconds, completely futilely, and they just avoided. And then all of a sudden, that's 1 hero that had to stop what he was doing, and 4 of you guys that walked across the map and didn't get a kill. And all of them just kept farming. And clearly Pudge is not farming, and clearly Mirana's not farming, because literally the only reason your strategy works is because these guys, they're doing the complete opposite. The only understanding of these guys, the only way they know how to win Dota is by killing heroes. So you guys are kind of winning because you're all standing together, which means that Pudge can never get kills. But what instead should happen is it should be a vision game where Pudge will kill you guys if you separate. And if you guys just never separate, then these guys will just spread across the map and never get killed because they'll have wards up and they'll see you running in your clump of 4. And then they'll just leave and I'll out-farm you. And then in like 20 minutes, you'll just get completely crapped on because their GPM is going to be so much higher. You guys are winning, but that's because Tinker is playing well, I think, and farming really well. His GPM's really high, and the PA also has good GPM, probably mostly because of team fights. His actual CS is like kind of bad. These are the reasons. So like you guys shouldn't be winning this game, frankly. Your lane stage was alright, but I would say the way that you guys are playing this mid game is pretty atrocious. So if you just know these things, like you'll raise your MMR by like 500, 1,000 easily. You almost died here. That was dangerous. Back to sitting together. Hey, they finally decided to try to engage you guys. Alright, you're dead. It's because you don't have sentries, obviously, but you know that. Hey, you guys are having a arguably decent team fight. They got more because you guys have more net worth. Alright, let's see what you get. Alright, got your items. I like the cloak. If you did have a glimmer cape, who knows, maybe you would have survived. I bet if you had like a glimmer and like a point booster, you could honestly have glimmer ags right now, I think. If you had been efficient. If you were efficient all game, definitely glimmer ags. De-ward the ward, which is cool. Again, you put the sentry on the high ground. Instead, you could have placed it a little bit more ground level. You could also put an observer down. This is another good time where you can ward. If there's dead heroes, it's very likely that they won't be moving into the area that you guys are at. So as soon as that hero died, I would have walked this way. And again, placed an observer ward over in this area. Because then, that's one of 3 ways that people can leave their base by foot without TPing into the tier 2s. So if you put a ward right here, you're going to see them go this way. Or you're going to see them enter the jungle, which would allow you to do jungle things, like gank them in the jungle. But instead, you've just been standing around here ever since that hero died. And you're playing scared. You have to know when it's the right time to not be scared. Okay, like that observer ward, that was good. You definitely need more sentries though. Dust could be helpful. Pushing out the creep wave a little bit. And, I don't know. If you had sentries, you should have sentries. I know you used one D-ward and used the other one for, I don't remember what, but... the Tinker is pretty much just carrying you guys. You guys are succeeding and not feeding, though. Kind of. You've died a few times, but I wouldn't say it's like that. And now you're probably like, man, I can just never afford sentries. I'm doing my best as a support. But you have to be greedy sometimes. You're playing way too you're self-sacrificing way too much. You're basically guaranteeing that you never have any farm because of the fact that you never farm. This was like the first time I've seen you hit creeps in a long time. And again, somebody else. Oh, look. Pieros are congregating. Time to oh, somebody's mid. Let's all go mid. Is what's happening. My God, this is frustrating. But you don't have to be here, honestly. You could. You know what I would do right now? If these guys always clump around you, as soon as they get to my lane, I would just ditch. Oh, they came mid. I'm gone. Go mid. Go top. I would just literally walk top. Or I'd go over to this large camp, farm this large camp, and then I would walk top. And by this point, the Pudge would have pushed the wave to like here or something, or maybe closer. Walk up to the top lane. Push the creep wave if nobody's there. Just throw cask at it, get like 4 last hits, and walk away. And then go to the jungle, do the jungle, and then do the jungle. And maybe put a ward down, like here. You can put a ward like here. Or here. That would protect you from ganks coming towards you, unless they go this way. You could ward up here too, but it looks like they have an observer ward up here. So that's a little scary. Very, very like, that's a good way to die actually, is to walk within observer ward range of this cliff, because people ward it all the time. But yeah, if you just warded here, come up, push the wave, kill the large camp, kill the small camp, and then your team's like, hey, let's go push bottoms. You're like, okay, cool. And then you TP to the bot lane, and then you go fight. And in the meantime, you've gotten yourself gold and farm, and maybe you'll get a kill, because what if a hero goes top? That's what changes everything. Again, you guys are just absolutely refusing to not stand next to each other. I think 2 sentries is a little overkill, but you do have 2 more, so I'm cool with it. It's like the 5th time this game I've seen you get gold. You don't have to be this self-sacrificing, basically. But I think I've made that pretty clear. It's a good sentry. I like that. That was a good one. Considering that you're going to pressure the tier 2. That one was alright. I maybe would have saved that for a pressuring tower. I don't know if you guys expected to go so far up to the tower or not, but Omnia absolutely should have sentries as well. It shouldn't just be your job. You can't afford to do it though, you're just not farming enough. And that's why you don't have enough items. Now you guys basically have to leave because you don't have sentries, so that was a mistake. Instead you could have maybe tried to go high ground there. I don't like that sentry too much, so you covered the same ground. See how much ground you covered? This already crosses over. Instead I would have placed it like up here or up here. I think that would have been better. Unless you were like absolutely terrified in that moment that they were coming for you or something. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's upset. I don't know if he actually wanted to go in there anyways. Again, don't place sentries in the middle of nowhere. You're doing the same thing. You're getting scared like, but this could be the time that they're using pot multi. The place you want to do, the place you want to put sentries, and this is like the case for almost all, against all invis heroes. Look how many sentries, look how much gold you put on the ground. There's 100 gold wasted, 100 gold. This one was okay because you were checking for wards while you're rushing. This one, kind of the same principle, but I think a little overkill maybe. It would have been better to place here, arguably, earlier. This one was good, you got a D ward with it, I like this one. Basically, 2 of these sentry wards are justified, wasted, and arguably wasted. 200 gold there. This one's also wasted, because you guys aren't going to stand here. This sentry is only good if you guys are planning to siege from this location, if you're planning to stand there for a long time, or if you know that they're right on top of you. The place your sentry should be is close to the sieging location, which is here. put a sentry here, or move up a little bit, then put a sentry down. That's what you guys should do. And that's how you have to play against invis heroes. Otherwise, you're putting wards all over the fucking map. So if you're playing against Rickies and Bounty Hunters, go somewhere to do something, such as push the tower with your team and place the sentry outside of the tower range. That way you know where they're going to be if they approach. If you guys spread out and farm, then you're thinking, boy, I have to put a sentry everywhere that my allies are farming across the map. That's going to cost a lot of money, and it does. So all you got to do is be a little coordinated. Push up, put the sentry down, you're protected. Instead, you're having to spend another 200 gold for this. 200 gold. That could have been 100. That's 100 gold closer to your Glimmer Cape, but you're not going to get it. And again, don't right-click the trees, or at the tower. The casting on the creeps is good, because it will clear them faster. I think you are standing a little bit far up. This is quite a mistake from Clock here. Alright, that was good. I like that. That's good. I liked your ult. Oh, you got a really good cask there. Turn that heal on. Okay, there we go. Oh, your cask actually just wrecked so bad. That was really good. Send me TP. What's that? Alright. So you finally got Glimmer Cape, but it's 30 minutes in, man. You should have Glimmer Eggs right now. 100%. You should probably have like 50 more last hits and probably like 2 less deaths. Like all this farming stuff, it just accelerates you, you know? Like, I'm sure you would love to have a Glimmer Eggs right now. And it's not just about the damage, it's also about the HP that you would have. So it's like you're playing safe because you don't want to die, but then you're never getting gold. You're just playing at this like, I'm just going to trickle in gold all game, and hopefully our team fights go well because I'm standing near my allies and I'm good at using my skills. That's literally how you're playing the game. You're relying on your ability to use your skills in team fights at smart timings, and that's how you're raising your MMR. But you're not doing anything efficiently in terms of gold collection. There's 5 heroes in the game, and all 5 of them can get farm within a certain limit. But you're not even doing your hero's limit. And you're also being inefficient with your supporting games. Alright, I think this is clear enough. I think I covered a lot of the basic things, so we'll hop over really quick to the second replay. I assume it'll be a lot of similar things. This was the re-engage, I believe. Yeah, you already used your ulti here. I think you're playing this fine. Like, yeah, you're actually using your skills relatively well. You can move your camera a little bit more. I think some of your positioning needs work big time. Ooh, that was close. I would have definitely wanded there. That would have been a good time to wand. Or turn on your heal. You've got 500 mana. Should be worried about like Zeus. Yeah, he actually, if he had buyback money, he could have bought back ultied you. So you definitely should have healed. But and now you bought Windlace. Come on, man. You could have bought Windlace at the start of the game. I know that you were very poor and stuff, but if you're gonna buy Windlace, you buy that shit right away because you had empty item slots all game pretty much. That's when you get the Windlace, almost ASAP. This is also one of the reasons that I'm not the huge fan of Arcane Boots, is because you've spent a lot of money on it, and yeah, it's giving you more mana, but it also hasn't increased your survivability all game. I think you could have had a lot more survivability if you bought more HP items leading up. That's kind of hard to say. Like, it's really easy to be lazy and get Arcanes and just say, like, I'll never have to go back to heal. But I think it's a little, I don't know. I think it's better if you go HP stuff, but I think you can easily get away with Arcanes just because the MMR is low and people aren't going to pressure you properly. So, from here on out, the game's pretty straightforward. You're going to do the same thing, I'm assuming. Put wards down, put sentries as you push, take team fights. But, yeah, very underfarmed for where you should be, 100%. Honestly, go watch, I think what you should do, minimum, is go watch a pro player play Witch Doctor. I know there haven't been a lot recently, but I'm sure there's games that you can look up. Maybe like games from TI or something, or the TI before. Actually, yeah, TI 5 Witch Doctor was played a shitload, so you could watch any TI game, TI 5 game, if you can still watch those with Reborn. And I'm sure there's a couple games at TI 6 too. Minimum. I think people definitely pick Witch Doctor. Quite sure. So let us hop into the next replay. I assume it'll be a lot of the same stuff, but I'm sure it will be useful. I'm sure you'll play different too if you're not against a Pudge. That'll probably help. Here you are, and no Pudge. There's a Clockwork, kind of similar. PA is pretty scary. I'm going to assume PA killed you a lot because Witch Doctors died of PAs pretty commonly. But yeah, watch a pro game where they play Witch Doctor and just look at how many CS they get. Look at their benchmarks, and benchmarks are what's their level at 10 minutes, or at what minute, what timer did they get their level 6 at, and how many last hits they have at 10 minutes and 20 minutes, and what timers do they get their items. Like, oh wow, he's got Aghanim Scepter at so and so minutes. Oh, he's got Glimmer Cape at 14 minutes or something. That's relatively reasonable support timing, I would say. You were a little faster to get out of the base this game, which was pretty good. You went same item build, you didn't pull a tango, which is fine. Sometimes I like to place the observer ward before I go low ground. Like, that was so dangerous. You can't do this. Look how long you were in, and by dangerous, because your ward should be dead. If I was an enemy support, I would 100% deward your ward. Because I would be, let's say somebody's standing right here, or somebody's standing right here. You can't see them. They could just be standing here. And you walked over here, they'll check your inventory, you've got an observer ward, you're just standing here. And then you walk over here and place a ward. Anybody that had gotten here first and placed a ward, or is standing in the area, is going to see you place that. And instantly that's a deward. Also, it's not really the best ward. I don't like this one very much personally. It's commonly not dewarded, but all it spots is areas in here. And did you see... you should have also seen that the clock had a ward, and you should be looking for him to make sure that you can see him, see where he places it. And it looks like he's going to be able to get away with this for free, which is definitely not something that you should have let him do. Let's look at your pathing again. It's probably very similar to the last game. You basically got a bounty rune, or your ally got the bounty rune, and you're like, hell yes, we won. And then you left. But really what you should do is look at this guy. I'm going to go back to your player perspective, because I want to see if you clicked on him at all. But it's super important versus an offlaner. Click on his items, see what he's got. See what you're going to be up against. You did not click on him. You could have clicked on him. You also could have farmed his cogs. Are those worth gold? I can't remember. Put the ward down. And again, you did the same thing. Walk to the creep wave. Wrong move. Walk to the lane, see what's going on. Don't let him approach to put a ward down. Check to see if he's blocked and let a range creep through. These are all important things. You stand here, you see the creep wave coming, and you're like, oh, here comes a creep wave. You walk over here, you let it pass, and then you go, hey, get out of here. And you start right-clicking him right here. This is right the moment where you start right-clicking him. And you know he's got power cogs because he already used it. So you know that he can't just use battery assault to outtrade you. I mean, power cogs is a little scary and stuff. And he has a stout shield. And he's got pretty good base strength. And he's got good base damage and stuff. But, you know, you're a rancher. You can abuse this a little bit. Start slapping this guy. Try to get him out of the range. Minimum, he's going to be forced to place an observer ward somewhere in this area. Or walk into the river and place it here and block this camp. Or put it up here or something. But you're gimping yourself. Obviously, this might not matter because you're a solo support in this lane. But you're giving him a free block consistently. And now you're... And now you're out of order again. You block the creep wave. Hey, clock didn't show up. That's weird. But the reality is he could be here. He could be standing by this tree. He could be standing here. He could have walked over here, and he could be standing right here, just getting experience for free. Number one important thing. And you're not getting a good check out of it. You know that he left the lane. He walked up here. Where do you actually think he is? You just said, oh, he's not here. I'll just start pulling. But that's not number one priority. Number one priority always zone the offlaner. Always zone the offlaner. Unless you're a support that truly can't zone, if you're like Crystal Maiden level 1 who's really bad at zoning, or if you're like, I don't know, melee Tidehunter or some crap and you're against an axe, it's like, okay, I'm actually not going to zone that guy, it's clear. Then you start pulling. But you are a Witch Doctor. If the best thing about Witch Doctor is that he's good against almost all heroes in lane, zone the shit out of that guy. I don't care if you're trading a little inefficiently, as long as you don't die, or as long as you don't trade super inefficiently, like you trade like your 400 HP for his 100, then it's fine. Go zone this guy. Keep him out of experience range. And minimum, go check to make sure he's not there. Wait till the creep waves meet, and then walk past. And then walk over here, and look to see if he's hiding in any of these nooks and crannies. Because his goal should be minimum experience. This guy's bad because of the fact that he walked straight up to the creep wave right away and just revealed that he was here. And instead, you still pulled, which isn't the right thing to do. Because right now, let's look at last hits. Minimum, he already got his mana drained. So this guy's already been harassed. And it's going to be harder for him to get last hits because he's being contested by Clockwork. And almost always this is also going to happen where the guy just contests the pull anyways. Except this guy was bad. Okay, he did do it. And now your creep waves are stacked. Because this guy's already going to get this whole creep wave. And this next one's going to come through because this creep wave is going to be dead. You just gave this guy 2 waves of experience, pretty much. Let's see where they actually end up. Impossible. Alright, can't zone him anymore. As soon as the creep wave is here, you can't get past this. Because you'd have to walk past the creep wave to like here. And then start right-clicking him, and then you're right next to a tower. It won't work. So by you attempting to do this greedy pull-through, you just messed everything up, basically, and you guaranteed him 3 creep waves of experience. This is on you, 100%. This Clockwork could easily be level 1, maybe inching towards level 2 right now, and instead, he's going to be level 3 now. Possibly more. And how long does it take you to take control of the creep wave as well? You're sitting over here trying to harass and deny him, but that's not really what's important. You're not going to, like, he's got a stout shield, and he's got 3 tangos, and he's already leveling up a lot. You've already kind of like lost your momentum, and at this point you finally realize, you're like, oh, I need to go pull because this creep wave's in a really bad spot. And now you're going back to pull, and you're like, oh, shit. Because you didn't prevent him from going into your lane, he blocked your camp, and now it matters. And even still, you were late on this. Again, this is where he blocked the pull through. Technically, what you should have done is if you are going to do a pull against a solo support, if you're a solo support and there's a solo offlaner, what you should do is stack the small camp and then pull, because then a stacked pull will kill the whole creep wave, and usually none of the newts will die, maybe one. So you could do a pull and then go back over to zoning, pretty much. So you should guarantee that the troll gets more levels and farm by zoning the offlaner, do the stack pull, but really you missed your opportunity here, I think. So here's the moment, they did the side pull through, it's about 130 right now. You're trying to harass them a little bit. All right, and this is your timing window. A 53 pull to the upper left with the large camp. That's what you should have done. You didn't really know the small camp was there, but even if it was, you already missed your timing. You're like 5 seconds late already. As soon as the creep wave gets out of equilibrium, you should realize, like right now, wow, let's look where my creeps are. Oh, this is pushing towards me, but I have a whole nother creep wave here. The wave is pushing. Minimum, it's going to stay here, or it's going to push under their tower. Clock is getting this. If you just pulled, he will get this level 3 for sure, because you did this pull through, or you tried the pull through and it didn't work. Actually, it's such a huge amount of experience, honestly. Let's see how much he gets. Instantly, you walk over, do a side pull. So he's got this now. This should be his level 3. Alright, he's got level 3 guaranteed because you tried the pull through and he messed up your pull. Instantly botched. But this creep wave, let's see what level he would have been if you started your pull earlier. Basically level 4, just about. You gave him about 3/4 of a level because you didn't start your pull earlier. And now that you finally did pull, it's only one large camp, which means these creeps aren't all going to die. And Clockwork ends up getting 2 more anyways. So he just got a level and a quarter because you missed that pull a little bit early. And then by that point, you're like, well, I should probably just pull. I've been giving him so much free experience, but you missed your timing to do the stack pull, which would have denied the whole creep wave. Like, all of these little things, they completely add up. I guarantee this Clockwork could have been level 1 right now. If you just zoned him from the start, didn't start a pull and try to connect it. If you did pull, you'll do a stack pull. Obviously, you should have zoned him at level 1. Don't let him get the Observer Ward down in the first place. And then when he leaves, that's when you pull. That's the only time you pull. You only pull if somebody's getting dived real deep under the tower, which kind of looks like is happening. I don't think, yeah, you wouldn't be able to get this kill. It's too dangerous with this guy's low. Oh man, look at the regen on this Necro. Your Storm is getting wrecked. Oh yeah, he is. 10 lessons. Anyways, level 1 Clockwork here. Even if you did mess up the pull through, minimum he'd be at 3. Because you would have started the side pull. He could have walked over here and gotten some experience, but that's fine. It would have been like, what, 35% I think for every neutral killing a lane creep. Troll would have just been last hitting tower, or creeps under tower, which he's fine at because he's got a Wraith Band or whatever. And yeah, split the experience with the Troll. You'd be like a little higher on levels. You'd basically be like probably around these levels, something like this, like 3 and 2, but the Witch Doctor, or but the clock would be 1 is the important thing. Actually, you would be a higher level because you would have possibly killed these 2 neutrals. If you kill these, especially with Witch Doctor Cask, you can do it because it stuns creeps for 5 seconds. I guess it would only do a total of 225 magic, which isn't much. But stunning the creeps could be big because then your lane creeps could do more. Anyways, if you get the experience of these neutrals, then you'd be definitely a higher level. You might split him with Clock, but it's better than him getting lane creeps for sure. So, and then the faster that Clockwork gets 6 changes the whole game. Oh wow, I haven't seen anybody ever actually buy that bottle at the side shop. Truly, truly a wonderful thing to see. You don't have boost speed here. Oh, that's scary. Okay. Hold the creep wave. Wave is stacked a little. Alright, this is, well, messed up your skill build again. I really don't like this. See, if you go the skill build, it does give you voodoo before 6, but if you're against a Clockwork, especially one that's already kind of winning the lane, I personally would kind of prefer maybe to go 2 Maledict. Or you could go 1-1-1 maybe. That might be a good idea, because you could die pretty easily here. And that would give you 16 HP per second, which is quite a bit. I don't know. It's like the extra point in Paralyzing Cask only increases the damage by 25 if there's no creeps. And the mana cost by 10. And the cooldown is reduced by 2, which is really not very good. So I don't know. I'm not sold on it. You could have gone for a rune here. Could have prepped for a pull, then maybe this Necro doesn't get as much mana because his bottle would have been empty. I think you really could have done that. Let me see. Right here, give up. Walking. I think you could have denied this. Or grabbed it. 100%. And then you would have had an invis. And the Necro would have been completely out of mana. And now Necro has a get out of jail free card for 2 minutes. And he's got more mana if he wants it. He's really terrible last hitting. This makes a lot of sense why he doesn't have mana. It's like me on my worst days. And hey, oh, you're going to pull. Oh, it's still blocked. Oh, there's another level that you lost. Even though Clockwork wasn't actually in the lane at the time, you lost even more experience. It's like it just keeps adding up over the whole game. It's so many simple things. But that's really what playing support is about in the laning stage. Really, it's not. The tri-lane aspect is so straightforward in some ways. Like, it seems so easy, but it's if you just miss these couple things, it changes everything. It changes so much. This guy could still be like level 1, maybe level 2 here. And then you'd be level 3, and Troll would be level 5 or level 6. And he wouldn't have this awful skill build, hopefully. This is actually the worst skill build I've seen in a long time. God, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad. And then you could just kill Clockwork repeatedly because he's a level 2 hero. And he has actually no way to kill you because you'd be like level 3. If you had 1 point in heal and this guy had 1 point in battery assault, you could probably stay alive for like, I don't know, 15 seconds, 20 seconds until your ally finally gets there. This was kind of cool, and it actually worked because you got a little lucky on the bounce. I think you will actually get this kill. Yeah, you will. That was good. You got a kill finally. But you could have that kill with, it could have been easier because he would have been 2 levels lower, and you would have taken less damage. And you could have gotten a bunch of pulls off, and he would have been, you know, everything would have been so much better. You could easily have Arcane Boots right now, by the way, with a kill like that, if your supporting had gone better. You just basically have to gimp him for so long that he finally leaves the level, and then you start pulling. That's pretty much how it works. So now you hit one of your trees, which I am unsure about. And what have you done the last 10 seconds? Nothing. You walked back, you said, hey, this is my last tango, let's eat it. So you ate it. Pacing. What are you accomplishing? Who's gonna gank? It's not Necro. Necro's dead. Is it Clockwork? He's not 6 yet, you shouldn't have to worry about that. PA was just low. Winter Wyvern was apparently low. Apparently your Sven zoning in the off lane, I guess. Oh, it's a dual lane. Duh. Apparently your dual lane is zoning. Why are you standing back here? Because you don't want to lose your clarity potion? Come on, man. It's a clarity potion. You got a whole nother clarity potion. And you're kind of, well, you were close. You were kind of close to having Arcane Boots. So you traded that for 1 at least, so you know that. He tried to break your clarity potion, but he didn't. Which was capped out anyways. Like in the last like minute and a half, you haven't done anything but deward this ward, and now you're still standing here. Go look for trouble. You know he's over here. He's not level 6 yet. You can do this. Go over to the side jungle. Walk in. Go see if he's there. Things get really scary. You eat your last tango, and you turn on your heal, and you maledict the man, and maybe he dies. Maybe you die. I don't know. If this guy didn't have a terrible skill build, he would die. Every time. He has a terrible skill build. You gotta walk a little bit more around those. And again, 2 points in maledict here. Could have been really good. Against a hero like Clockwork, I really feel like 2 points in maledict could do a lot more. And finally you can start pulling at 7 minutes. Both of your games are actually just really plagued by lack of sentries. Lost 1 creep, but that's okay. And you connected your pull. This is really the place where you should worry about clock killing you, definitely. Right click the crap out of that guy. Okay, you got that. Again, you got another point. You're stunned. Again, damn, it's so bad against a single hero. It's just so bad against a single hero. I would have saved your sentry personally. I get that he kind of moved back based on you swinging around. I think you're playing way too scared. Playing way too scared. This guy, what is this guy buying? Shadowblade Rush or something? It looks like you're stacking the small camp now. I think, like, it's kind of like your Purge game. You're just way too scared about stuff. You gotta understand your hero's limits. It's like you came bottom because things were hitting the fan a little. This is actually really bad. That was actually a very good, I wonder if he would have died if he maledict to level 2. Maybe. TP to bot lane, I think this was a fine choice. But again, maledict level 2. And you're now spending a lot of money. You're doing the same thing. You're behind. You're still not 6 at 10 minutes, and you're spending all of your money on sentries and orb swords rather than accelerating your hero. It's pretty consistently happening. And back to the creep wave to stand here. Said you could be pulling. You got 6 time to fight, right? You could have done that with a book, though, Tome of Knowledge, I think. That might have been better. If you had dueled, you die, I think. Oh, this is really bad now. You're dead. That was really well done by Clock. By the way, you did just die because you gave this guy like 3 levels, I'd like to point out. Whereas, in a moment ago, it looked like you were going to be able to get a double kill. But now it doesn't work because Clock got to hook you. Everything would have changed. Level 2 Maledict? Maybe dead hero? That's more me, like, splitting hair, so. Oh, he's actually gonna live. Oh, he's actually quite tanky. Okay, it's, this is actually kind of working. Is this real? It's actually real. Just how long did this go on? Infinite? Did they just stay here the rest of the game? Slapping creeps, slapping creeps. Drop the ward. Oh, drop the ult. Oh, drop that ult. Come on. Oh, you had this kill so easy. Easily could have killed that guy. Basically, as soon as I hooked over here, and as soon as this guy showed, his HP's at half. Necro has fairly low armor early. I guess it's not terrible, but I 100% would just drop the ult right here. You'd kill him. Most likely. It'd be a little scary, but I would put the ward like right there. Oh, but then this guy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, with that frostbite, you would have killed him. You might have gotten dueled, though. I don't know. Alright, you still gotta kill him. Yeah, whatever. Alright, that was fine. Alright, Arcane's time. Level 6. Like, Witchstructure is such a good laning hero, but he's also such a good gank hero once he hits 6. It just changes. Like, you can gank so many heroes early game. And you're just delaying it by so much. He finally got his 1 skill point in Fervor. It's like one of the best level 1 skills in the game. Again, you're kind of warding the same place. You're doing the same thing. And now it's absolutely not okay to do sentries here. They don't have invis heroes. You're not anticipating an invis, a shadow blade. Your observer ward should be in lane, or should be over here. It shouldn't. If you're gonna put it over here, I would like you to place it in this area as well. I think this area would be better. In terms of sentry, I don't know. I know people place wards a lot here, but it's bad. It's not a good place for a ward, I don't think. For the Radiant. For Radiant it's okay. For Dire it's awful, I would say. Yeah, for Radiant this is alright. Their ward should be somewhere between here and up here. So where their ward would be, or it'd be a little deeper. But again, you're just wasting 100 gold. That could have been like a magic stick and a TP or something. Oh, there's your magic stick. But still, you would have 100 gold. This is absolutely a game that I would get Raindrop on. It would block 95 damage from a battery cell, which is pretty good. It's going to save you like 70 HP per time. It's bad against Rocket Flare though. There's only one downside. It would block Hookshot, which is a good thing to block. A Death Pulse block would be great. Reaper Scythe damage block is amazing. There's a lot of good things to block this game, actually. I would definitely buy it. They do have a lot of physical damage, though, so I'd probably prioritize, if I were you. You could buy Mech this game, in all reality. Mech is a good solution to a lot of physical. If you go Arcanes, you can definitely go Mech. If you don't get Arcanes, I wouldn't recommend buying Mech. I just feel like you haven't done anything in the last minute. You're just kind of standing there, waiting for your enemies to do something. I don't know. Inaction is kind of your name, most of the time. Like, you see the heroes there, and you know that they're there, but it's like you're scared to do something about it. Ooh, the double. That was pretty baller. I think you even changed targets. That was really well done. That was good. Like, you did a really good job in that fight. But you're waiting so long to do those cool things. Your KDA went from, like, okay to, like, amazing all of a sudden. And you're still going Glimmer. I guess Glimmer's okay this game, honestly. Because you could, like, Glimmer ulti. Alright, that was absolutely not worth it. People click on you, man. Like, those heroes will see you walk past the tower, check your inventory. Or even if they don't check your inventory, if somebody walks here and then stops here and then walks back instantly, it's very obvious you put an observer ward down. You can't place wards like that. You have to kill the tower, then walk past the creep wave, and you guys could push a little bit more, I think. Walk up, nuke the creep wave again. Like, why are you going back to base? Your health was at like 3/5, your mana was at half. You could have just stayed out. You could heal with Voodoo Restoration and get mana back with Arcanes. Like, that's why you buy this item, so you don't have to go back to base. But instead, you TP'd back to base. Which, now you're in base and you have to walk to a lane. Like, look how much time this is going to cost you. You spent actually 30 seconds to walk to a lane to do something when you could just stayed top. Look at top right now. Fortunately, I cannot click on the minimap and replays. Wow, look at all these creeps dying that have juicy gold. Every single one of these is worth like 40 some gold. Catapult's worth like a lot. Yeah, I guess I get you're down here. Maybe if there's a fight, it could be useful. But you could have just stayed here. Lasted like 2 waves maybe. Lost like another cask of mana. And then just TP to the bot lane and join your team. You wouldn't have had as much HP. You wouldn't have had quite as much mana. But you would have saved 50 gold. You already spent 50 gold buying a new TP scroll after TPing home. And you want to spend 30 seconds walking from Fountain all the way to the bot lane. Minimum right there. Even if you didn't cast Cask on the creep wave, there's a small chance you died because the tower was already dead. I don't think that somebody would have approached and came to kill you. And you right click like 4 creeps. That's 200 gold. 200 gold, TP to the bot lane, slightly less mana, but 200 gold closer to all of the items that you might want. It changes so much. Just really not being efficient here. Again, same thing. Attacking creep wave. Wonder what Legion's looking at right now. Let's check. It's probably like, huh, look at this juicy ass witch doctor that I can eat. You know? This guy's bad at looking. And he's also standing in a terrible place. He could be hiding in trees or something. But like, I could so easily just jump on you and kill you. Most likely. Ooh. This is the ideal time. I think you messed up by running into here personally. I think you could have waited a moment, because as soon as the creep wave is back here, you have the potential of having an amazing cleave, or an amazing cask. I think I would have personally preferred you staying... Let's go back 5 seconds. This is scary. That guy died. I would have probably casked right there personally, but as soon as you didn't, I would get to like here, maybe, and then I would wrap around and throw the cask here. Alright, he's fucking dead. Alright, you made the right choice. But I would have considered that, definitely. Probably thrown the cask then ran. Honestly, you might have saved him. If you would have gotten a bouncing cask between Legion and the Necro, this guy gets 10 less dual damage. He doesn't have a delayed respawn. All that stuff. Walk into the bot lane even though the tower's already dead. And by that I mean it's going to die. You've got 2 dead heroes, you're looking at the bot lane. It would have been better, I think, for you to go top. TP top, tell your Storm that you're going to gank the Necro. You could even buy a smoke. TP top, pop a smoke, walk at the Necro. Storm goes in the same time as you. That's a kill, 100%. There's literally a 100% kill top. Instead you TP'd, or you walked here, and you're standing there and you're like, hey, let's defend, but you got 2 dead heroes. Plan ahead. Easy plan ahead there. TP at the top lane, smoke, approach the Necro. You even got a ward in the area, say, Storm, I'm going to kill this guy. Storm balls in, you drop your ulti, dead hero. 100% dead hero. Only way he gets away is if he happens to blink and has like a ward spotting the Storm. That's a dead Storm right now. And then you push up the top lane, and then their heroes are forced to run across the whole map or TP across the map just to stop the top push. And that means your troll can push out bot lane, and somebody else can push out mid. Whole game changes. Gotta be proactive. Do realistic things. This sentry chance was better. I like that one. This is good. I definitely would have used your nuke. 100% use your nuke there. It's not safe to stay here a long time. Oh, that's some good damage. Oh, he died? Oh, I see. P killed him. Oh, ulti that. Oh, it didn't bounce. That's unfortunate. Alright, you're screwed. You guys are kind of just like sitting around and you're getting out-visioned and out-ganked and stuff. This is very dangerous. You're probably just thinking, oh, we lost because they had a ward or something. And kind of, but... You know, like I told you, go top, you kill the Necro there. Maybe Necro's not at that fight. Maybe all the waves push out, and then while Troll is pressuring this tower and they ran top to stop your push, you can TP to this lane and cover the Sven as he does the Ancients. And then that fight just doesn't happen, just because you pressured the map better. Lots of stuff like that really matters. All right, I think I should probably cut it here. I think I'm a little over time. Thanks for watching, though. Thank you for signing up. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned a lot. I think there's lots of simple things in your play that can fix things. And I think you've got the mechanics at least to playing the hero down. You just have to fix the efficiency. Definitely the efficiency. And don't miss your windows and do your things correctly, if that makes sense. Zoning. Don't let him get a ward down. Pull when appropriate. Check runes. Stack. But mostly focus on zoning. Number 1. Don't let him get experience. Pull as soon as the creep whip gets messed up. Don't miss a pull. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.